Alias Icon here, going over Batwoman, and this this one was a little a nice little little indent as we progress forward. We're coming off the Beth Alice storyline, where in the previous episode, Beth was shot by by Mouse's dad, and as a result of that, Alice ended up becoming alive. Alice ended up surviving. So now Kate's dealing with the fallout of that whole situation because she now has to live with the fact that, damn, I actually chose my sister's doppelganger over my actual sister. My actual sister survived, and now she's pissed. I thought personally, I thought Alice was gonna go on a rampage. I thought she was gonna basically like tear through the city and try to kill everybody. But it's actually the opposite. Like when we find Alice, she's actually depressed. She can't find Mouse because his dad snatched him up. So she's looking for Mouse, and she's actually bothered by the fact that Kate didn't choose her. To save her. So and again, and Kate's concerned. She's just like, anything that Alice does now, it's on me, whatever. And Luke is just like, well, there's this new villain that's terrorizing Gotham. Her name is Nocturna. Basically, they're calling her like a vampire. She's going around sucking the blood out of people. And Luke was just like, listen, you could use the distraction, and if you help take down this Nocturna, it'll take your mind off this Alice Beth stuff. So she goes to investigate. She finds a victim. Because the Nocturna had snatched up a victim. Kate finds the victim. Nocturna rolls up on her. She's just like, oh, a vampire and a bat. She bites Kate. Like on the lips, which injects kenfetamine, I think that's what they call it, into her system. So. But then when she was gonna suck Kate dry. She was gonna suck Batwoman dry. But then the Crow showed up because Commander Kane, he got out of prison. I'm not sure how he got out of prison. Maybe maybe Mouse's dad ended up providing that testimony that he was supposed to, which got the dad off. So he's out, he's back running the Crows. He sends the troops in to go after Nocturna because his whole thing is, I don't like Batwoman, I'm tired of Batwoman, and we gotta stop the criminals before Batwoman does. So they try to get Nocturna before Batwoman does. Batwoman's tied up because Nocturna got the drop on her. Sophie's the first person who shows up. She sees Batwoman tied up, and then she ends up letting her untying her, and then she lets her go. I don't know if she just did it just to be nice, if because there's like some sexual chemistry between the two of them, or because Kate basically saved her behind in the last episode trying to talk her down. She basically let her go as a favor. But she did tell her, she was just like, listen, she's like, I'm gonna let you go, but she's like, the next time I see you, I gotta bring you behind in. So she let her go. Kate dipped, and then that was the end of it. So now Luke and Kate, they're trying to come up with a way to stop this Nocturna person. They noticed that the woman, she's targeting like club owners. She's targeting like rich socialites, that hang out in clubs. So Kate's like, hey, I got a club, so she pushes up the opening of her club to hopefully draw this woman out, to get her out, so they can do some facial recognition and try to figure out who it is. Commander Kane finds out that Kate's gonna open, her club early. Her and him and Sophie, they identified, Beth's body because everybody thinks that Alice is dead now. And then he told Sophie, he was like, yo, just to protect my daughter or whatever, because Mary was there also. So to protect both of my daughters, because, he's Mary's, I guess. I mean, it's not that he's his legal guard, because Mary grown. So it's not like that's his guardian, but, that was his kid too. So basically he told Sophie, he's like, yeah, go down there and take care of, watch my kids back. So, so Sophie goes down to the club. Kate has her club's grand opening. Sophie goes in wearing the dress, and to the point where even Luke was just Luke's sitting here running facial scans on everybody that comes in, and then he pauses and he goes, yo, Kate, he's like, is that Sophie? And then she's like, yep. And he's like, and Luke just goes, God. He was like, yo, she broke up with you, right? He's like, because I see why, and then that was actually pretty funny. And then when that happened, it reminded, that's when I thought about it. I was like, wow, Luke and Sophie have actually never had a conversation, nor have the two of them been in the same place at the same time. There's been no interaction. So for him, he was seeing Sophie for the first time, and the version of Sophie that he saw made him made his eyes jump off his face, and I was right there with him. So there was a woman that Sophie was talking to. They thought that woman might, be it. Kate goes down there to play her hate, and investigate. and breaks the whole thing up. She cut herself, and then the woman that that was talking to Sophie ends up, she can't stand the sight of blood. So there's like, all right, well, that's not it. That's not her. Luke, he sees Mary, because Mary's at the club as well. He sees Mary downstairs. She's talking to, like she's talking to like a random fan, but she looks like she doesn't want to talk to her. Luke goes down there to save Mary, help her out a little bit. I don't know why Luke did this, but he ended up answering the comms because Kate and Luke are on comms. He answered the comm while Mary was right there, and then when Mary, so obviously she's gonna say something, and Mary was just like, "Who are you talking to?" And he's just like, "Oh, I'm talking to Kate." And then she's like, "Why do you have a hidden earpiece?" She's like, "Why do you have a hidden earpiece in, and you're talking to Kate through a hidden earpiece?" When you're just supposed to be like her realtor, like her realty assistant. And then he's just like, well, like your sister's very demanding. So, so he bounces. The day, earlier that day, after Kate had left, after Sophie let Kate go, she went to Mary so Mary can check out her blood. And then Mary was like, yo, you got kinphetamine in your system. And she's like, oh, I don't know how that got there. So now Mary's kind of getting suspicious. She's like, why does Kate have kinphetamine in her system? Why does Luke have a private channel? why does Luke have a private channel to Kate, like in his ear? So now Mary's starting to be like, yo, what's really good going on? So Luke goes back upstairs. He sees Alice on the TV screen. He tells Kate like, yo, Alice is outside. Kate goes outside. She's talking to Alice. Alice is like, where's Mouse? And then, Kate's like, I don't know. And then she was just like, fine. And then, Kate was like, yo, we should talk. She's like, talk about what? The fact that you were going to kill me. And then, Kate was just like, look, she was like, yo, she was like, first of all, you were killing people. You weren't going to stop. Beth was a good person. That's why I chose Beth. Get over it. So Alice is just like, fine, message loud and clear. And then, she gets mad and she storms off. Because right now, she's basically just storming the streets looking for, looking for Mouse. Come to find out, Nocturna saw the conversation that Kate and Alice were having. She followed Alice back to her hideout. Nocturna rolled up on Alice, bit Alice in the lip, passed out Alice, and she was draining Alice of her blood. Because Nocturna's whole thing is like she drains her victims of their blood, and she, and then she puts them into her system. Luke saw the girl on the screen, did the facial recognition. Come to find out, like the girl, she has like a skin condition or like some blood condition where the girl basically, like she can't, like she has a skin condition to the point where she can't be out during the day. And she needs that blood to keep her alive. So that's why she's draining people. Sophie got a call from Commander Kate and she dipped. Mary, so when Nocturna had Alice, Beth, same thing. When Nocturna had Alice and she was draining Alice of her blood, Alice was basically just like, look, she's like, you can sit here and you can drain my blood, or you can drain the blood of somebody who can actually help your condition. She's like, what did you mean? So basically, Alice told Nocturna about Mary's magical blood cure that's in her system that saved Beth. And she told her, she was just like, that's the blood that you want. So Nocturna went back to the club, rolled up on Mary, kidnapped Mary, and took Mary to like some random hideout. Luke tracked Nocturna from the first time. Kate goes in, she finds Mary. Well, first Kate went to Alice's hideout, and then she saw Alice. Alice was tied up or whatever, and then she was talking to Alice, and she was like, "Why are you alive?" And then she was just like, "Bitch, thank God." She's like, "I get it. You don't want me dead." But she was like, "No." She was like, "Nocturna always drains her victims, and she's like, she drained Alice halfway, and then she was just like, why didn't she stop? Why did she stop? And then she was just like, I don't know, whatever, So she let Alice out, and then then Kate dipped. Kate goes and finds Mary. She found where Mary was. She starts fighting Nocturna, and then her and Nocturna get into it, and then Alice shows up, knocks Nocturna out, and then Mary's dying. Alice is just like, yo, Mary's about to die, but she was like, I can give Mary blood because our blood type is universal. She's like, my blood type's universal. She's like, I'll give some of my blood to Mary, which will give you enough time to get her to the hospital. Kate's like, why are you doing this? And she's like, bitch, just take the blood. So Alice gives Mary the blood. Kate takes out Nocturna, and it's all gravy. So now now Mary's at the hospital. Kate goes to talk to her, And then she's just like, Kate's like, yo, do you remember what happened? And then Mary's like, no, I just remember I got attacked in the alley, and then Batwoman, like brought me here. She didn't tell her that she didn't tell Mary that Alice was the one that saved her life, which I thought was very interesting. So then after that, Kate ends up going back to Alice's hideout, and then she's just like, how did Nocturna know about Mary's blood blood condition? And then Alice was like, yeah, because I told her, because it was either my life or Mary's, and obviously I was going to choose me. And then she was like, and then she was like, but I tried to make up for it because I helped you save Mary in the end. And then, Kate was just like, look, bitch. She was just like, I don't regret my decision, so you need to get over it. She was just like, and then Alice was like, but maybe I want you to save me. And then she was just like, and that's the whole thing. Like, Alice is doing all this stuff, but it's like she secretly wants Kate to save her. But Kate's like, yo, I'm done. Kate basically did to Alice what Kara did to Lena. She was like, yo, like, I'm trying. She's like, I ain't asking for your forgiveness somewhere. Like, if this is what you want to do what you got to do, and I'm coming for that ass the moment you slip up. And then Kate dipped. So Alice then, she ends up finding out that she finds out that the doctor is actually Mouse's dad. So now Alice knows that Mouse's dad is alive, and she's going after him so she can save Mouse. Mary ends up putting two and two together finally, because she was listening to the radio, and the woman who does the radio show said that like Nocturna was poisoning her victims with confetamine. And then Mary put two and two together. She was like, but Kate had confetamine in her system. Sophie had told Mary earlier in the episode that Nocturna had bit Batwoman and poisoned her with confetamine. And then she saw, like Luke talking to her on the comms, which was like, so Mary finally put two and two together. She was like, yo, Kate's Batwoman. And I'm glad somebody figured it out. I'm glad somebody figured. I didn't think it'd be Mary though, but but honestly, they should have told Mary a long time ago. So I ain't even mad at the fact that Mary know that she's Batwoman. The question is, how's she gonna like lower the boom on her and like spill the beans? So then Sophie goes back to Commander Kane. Commander Kane shows her the footage of her letting Batwoman go in the beginning of the episode. And then he's just like, yo, you chose Batwoman, or you gonna choose the Crows? She's like, I'm choosing the Crows, sir. And he was like, no, he was like, you're suspended. Go home and think about what you've done, and then let me know your answer. So Sophie's suspended. She goes to the bat symbol, turns the bat symbol on. Kate shows up in the Batwoman costume. She's like, yo, I just got suspended because of you. And then Batwoman's like, all right, fine, I'll keep my distance. And then she's just like, wait, and then she grabs her and she kisses her, and the two of them start making out. And if Sophie ends up becoming Kate's Diggle, I'll be okay with that. Obviously she'll get her crow job back eventually, but if there's like a good like 2 or 3 episodes where it's like Sophie and Batwoman out there like kicking ass and saving the city, I don't mind Sophie being Kate's Diggle. But if she's gonna do that, she needs to tell her that she's Batwoman, and we'll see if that unfolds. Definitely see if that unfolds. So that was it. Like I said, that was a cool episode of Batwoman. I'm glad that we got another villain that wasn't Alice. And like I said, Mary knows the secret now. Sophie's on the verge of knowing the secret now, and we'll see how all this craziness unfolds in the next episode. So thank you for tuning in. Leave a comment, like, and/or subscribe. Check out my other DC TV reviews. And for the Batwoman, as always, I'm out this bitch.